Redwood is more than a shelter. It's a space designed for healing, dignity, and transformation. In this episode, we go inside Redwood to explore how trauma-informed design, community, and care come together to support women and children on their recovery journey. From private, safe spaces to programs that foster connection, creativity, and confidence, every detail is intentional. Because recovery isn't just about safety, it's about rebuilding a sense of self. This is Designing Recovery. Well, thank you, lovely ladies, for joining me on my podcast, Do Her Thing, especially that this is for Designing Recovery in partnership with Toronto Metropolitan University, School of Interior Design at the Creative School. So before we get started, why don't we do a roundtable of everyone's roles and responsibilities at Redwood?
Well, my name is Mila Perez. This is my name. My pronouns are she, her, and my position here at the Redwood is shelter manager or resident services manager.
So she, her, around the Redwood, once with women. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here with you on the podcast.
Thank you.
My name is Ngase Kamga. I'm the Associate Manager, Child and Youth and Food Services Manager. I work with children and I also work with food services.
Lovely.
And I'm Judith Alcalde, and I'm the Director of Programs and Client Services at the Redwood. So that includes the residential services, which my three colleagues here work in, as well as our community services, special projects.
Mila, can you tell me more about Redwood?
Well, we have been in the community for a long time. It's 35 years. Our service is for women and their dependents who are survivors of abuse, gender-based violence and abuse. We work with families who would be surviving IPV, which is intimate partner violence, but also human trafficking and other forms of gender-based violence, including forced marriage and many aspects of the violence, that gender-based violence. So the Redwood's not only a shelter, we're a community organization. Like the Redwood started as an initiative of this group of neighbors that get together, and they said there is a need for having a safe haven for families, for women being abused. And they get together with the community and they got this building that we are now. Building used to be, I believe it was an LCBO before, big warehouse of LCBO. And the community, they got it with the intention that this is a shelter for women and children.
We are 12 rooms. Our capacity is for 37 people in the shelter, which is 12 families at any time. And most of the time we're full capacity. Currently we're full capacity. And how the Redwood started as a community, which is one of the things that we always said is it's a community effort. A community connection is when the things start working and when people get together to find solutions for things that they're problematic in the society. So that's how the Redwood started.
Mila, when somebody arrives at Redwood for the first time, like, what are they bringing with them, right? This is a shelter. So what are they carrying, or like, what are they allowed to bring in?
Well, they carry up to 2 suitcases per family member. Our rooms are very small. Some of them they're bigger, some of them are smaller. And it's very difficult because we are growing in capacity, but the building is not growing. So we don't have a space for like to keep belongings and all these things. But the families are bringing that up to 2 suitcases per family member. But in addition of what they bring, material things that they bring, is they bring their experiences, they bring their fears, their hopes. They bring also a lot of things that many of us will learn from them. I think it's families or women who come there always experts in their lives, and that give us also knowledge.
I love that. So then what does home mean to the women and families that you support? Because, they're fleeing their home and now they're looking for this almost temporary home because it's a shelter for them to go to, their next residence.
The meaning of the home is sometimes is difficult, because home is what represents risk in many cases. So it's a work that have to be slowly, gradual, so families feel safe. The important thing is not to build much as of a copy of a home, but build a safety that is a safety platform for families to transition safely to their own homes.
Okay. So then what does that first 24 to 48 hours look like for someone coming to Redwood?
When the families come to, like I said, we support women and also their dependents. So sometimes they come in, they never been in a shelter. It's a shock. Sometimes they come with the what is portrayed, what is a shelter looks like, and they get the surprise that no, this is not how media portrays a shelter looks like. Yeah, there is a completely misconception of what a shelter is. So then they come with the fear. Many families come, okay, is this a place that is more dangerous of what I was living in my life? Or
really?
Yeah, it's a lot of misconception, because the media, the movies and all these things paint a shelter in a very different way of what we have here at the Red.
Okay.
So that this is not home. It's a place for healing. It's a place to start a platform for your new life. So families come the first 24 hours. Of course, the idea is that families rest. They get fed, they get nourished, and they do the intake. Is an important piece for us to have the most information about where they were fleeing from, the person that, or the people that they fleeing from, in order to build the safety risk management plan. So the first 24 hours is supporting the family to get stable in the shelter, and also managing safety. What is safe for this family? What is the next step? Is this family a high risk? And what we have to do next to keep the family safe and also the other families safe.
It seems like Redwood is really set up for helping individuals, like you said, from crisis to move to their next phase of life, right? Like, you don't want the women and children and families being here for a long time, because you actually want to help them move to something better. Okay, so let's think about the Redwood space now. So are there areas where people naturally gravitate towards? Are there people trying to avoid? Are there really challenging parts of the space that you're finding now?
Yeah, the space, well, families gravitate sometimes in the dining room, because the dining room is a place to eat. People connect when they're eating, when they are sharing, like breaking bread. That's the time to connect. But also summertime, families are in the patio. We have a small patio that is access to plants, to gardens. So that's on the other place that families gravitate. And the children love the patio.
I can imagine. I think you're right when you say the media paints a picture and you're like, oh my gosh, we have a patio that the kids love playing in. Like, you don't see that in media in terms of like what the shelter traditionally would look like. So then are there ways for the residents or the families to personalize their space, right? Because you said they're coming in for long periods of time.
Yeah, the average stay, we put in this at between 5 to 8 months. It's families will stay with us up to a year or even more than a year, depending the complexities.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, many shelters, they have a length of a stay of 3 months, but for us it's very difficult because the idea is not to just have the families going out and without any kind of support. They need to be stable, and that's what we're working. That can we maybe less through the time, make the time less, so then other families can come faster, but always getting them the support, having the support for the families already laid out for them. But how they can personalize their space? Not long ago, we have a single woman who did art in the room, and she painted a very beautiful thing in her door. I think it still is there. So people personalize their space. They might put the pictures, the paintings for the children. Sometimes they write messages on the doors. They put paintings. Mostly the children are the ones who do the art. But I remember this person, she did a beautiful work in one of the rooms. And that was her kind of her own healing, was doing that thing.
I love that. So you allow whoever comes to kind of, their room is their room. You allow them to, like you said, personalize and make it their home, because like you said, they're going to be there for quite a long time.
Yeah. As much as they can. Is only sometimes it's difficult because it's a very small space. It's only the bed, the crib, if they have a child, an infant, that kind of a cabinet to put their clothes and drawers. So it's and the TV. So it's a very small space and it's very compact. Yeah, sometimes it's difficult to personalize, but one of the things I noticed that the children do painting, they put their drawings, they stick their drawings in the wall, sometimes in the doors. They did the art.
Love that. Okay, so let's move to the Gasu, because so how do the children now? How do they experience that space differently from adults when they first come to the shelter?
We have much more children here than adults, of course.
Of course.
I know Mila talk about the space being small, and it's even small when you think about the number of children. But the space is more than physical, and they usually say that the truth comes from the mouth or the eyes of the children. So they experience the space as a place where they are heard, where they can also heal and
Mm-hmm.
grow. And this happened through programs that we facilitate for them. First of all, somebody like me, and our healing for young one, uh, children psychotherapists. We are here, of course, we work collaboratively, cohesively, but we are here to make sure that children's voice is heard, their needs are heard, and that we attend to their needs the best we can, always from day one, with the collaboration of their mothers, because at every given space we believe that more mother can parent through trauma,
Mm.
and we just bring this respectful approach in, and then hear the voice of the children, sometimes directly from the children, sometimes through the mom, depending of their age. And
Right.
then we have so many program in one-on-one program like psychotherapy. We have a library now. We have a art program. We have music program when they can learn instrument. And it varies depending on their need. We are able to work with volunteers to give them tutoring, to teach them instruments such as piano, ukulele, voice, and djembe as well that I facilitate myself. So we make it a place where children are going to feel the peace again and connect with their inner self and feel respected so that they can develop their confidence and especially heal.
Hmm.
So that's how they experience the space that we share. So it's beyond physical space, it's beyond the bedroom, it's beyond the dining room, but it is the program that we provide as well.
So when you say, allow them to heal, you found that a lot of their healing can be done through these programs, right? Through music, through art, through speaking. Is that why the programs have been designed that way for the children?
I will say yes. I'm not a doctor or but from the voice of the children from week 1 to week 4 when they are here for the confidence, for instance, I gave them movie passes to go and watch a movie at Cineplex with their mothers during March break. And this child saved his ticket. And yesterday he came to me and he whispered to my ears, Gasu, my best friend is celebrating his birthday. Do you have one more ticket so that I can go to the movie with my family and my best friend? For this is confidence. This is a child who is feeling at home. This is a child who is feeling heard. Of course, like magic, I had one left, and I went and I gave to him so that he can take his friend. So this is how you see, and this is a child who was at the beginning communicating through anger, through swearing, through, and he's able to come confidently and talk to me. There is another child who comes every time and wrestle with me, and I let him win, and he thinks he's stronger than me. When you see that, you know that the child is being a child, and it's beautiful to see. And then that also allowed the mother to have a healthy relationship with them, a positive relationship, and then they naturally re work their relationship and live with good tips, with better connection, with hope, and
Mhm.
that's what they take with them as well.
No, I love that. Like you said, let the children be children, right? Like let them play, let them have all of those emotions and moments in life because it, just because they're in the situation doesn't mean they still can't have that joy and happiness and all the things that they should be having as children. So, oh, that's so good to hear in terms of, you're trying to still with the mothers, you're still trying to, build their lives, but with the children, you're also still not trying to hold them back in terms of the situation they're in. You're still trying to give them that space to grow and to be, the person that you always want them to be, right? As children to grow up.
Yes.
That's beautiful. So then, are there moments, or what do mothers need in order for them to feel like they can parent in the space?
They need to feel seen, heard, and supported.
Mm-hmm.
And through the program that Michelle, I'm pretty sure, will talk about, she does, RSO does, and also parenting that Osato and I do through group or one on one. Women feel supported and open up and develop that confidence in them. Unfortunately, there is no recipe to perfect parenting where somebody can say, hey, if I read this book, I can have the perfect children. It's a constant I think that if women were, if I was a prime minister, I would pay women to parent their children because it's a lot of work.
Yes.
Let's put it that way, and a work that is ungrateful, and then high demand all the time. Just to look at the woman and say, wow, you did that well, or, you know, keep hoping, or your child is having a typical teenager behavior, is nothing against you, because
Yes.
sometimes I hear, I don't know why this child hate me when I did this and that and that and that. And then we are stepping back and say, I've been doing this work for so many years. Trust me, he will
Yeah.
kiss you in 2, 3 years and say, Mom, without you, I wouldn't be here today. But this is just a typical behavior. Keep doing what is right to do, keep loving, keep acknowledging, keep supporting, keep setting boundaries, things like that. And then by the time some women leave here, because some of them come from a place of isolation where they are alone in the abuse with the person causing harm. So when they come here, older women and us staff, we are like a mirror in which they see themselves and what they are doing, because we are very honest with them. We give them constructive feedback. Yes, we have duty to report, but we feel that if they didn't have issue, they wouldn't be here to begin with. So when we see things, we talk to them and we work with them instead of reporting them. And so if the child is in a situation of immediate danger, then we have no choice but to report. But even that, we don't report without the mom consent. We'll call her and say, let's report together because this is a reportable thing. But we have this respectful approach to work with them and for women to feel that we are on their side. So because of that, they are able to be vulnerable and then to unpack and then to learn again.
Right.
And yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. So I think that's a great transition to Michelle, who now can, speak to the recovery process at Redwood and what that looks like.
I think that we think like something that just happens, and recovery is more like a roller coaster.
Yes.
Sometimes you're good, you're bad. Like you can't see just recovery like a state. It's dynamic. And sometimes you see somebody that is just like very good one week, and the next week they don't want to get out of their room.
Mm-hmm.
So then you say like, oh, but she was doing better. What happened? But it's part of it because it's not like a linear way of processing things, right? And also we need to acknowledge that um, it's not the same thing going through, I don't know, like a couple of months or 1 year of abuse than 30
Mm-hmm.
years. Like,
Right.
it's not that one is more important than other or more significant, but the effect, how affected somebody can be, is going to be different. It's going to look different, right? It's not the same physical abuse than coercive control.
Right.
It's a different way that the person will present themselves, will behave, will interact with the staff even. It's also not the same if it's just one incident and if it's like complex trauma, right?
Right.
So we have to consider all these different scenarios when we are talking about a client and a recovery. So sometimes recovery could look like finally being able to grieve, finally being able to feel that I'm in a safe place and I can cry,
Yeah.
and that's part of the process. Sometimes it's the first time that I'm allowed to be angry,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So I think that the most important part is like paying attention of the little signs that could be there. For example, someone that didn't want to come to one-on-ones start showing up in groups. That's a sign of recovery, for example. Like, okay, it's starting to get involved with the community, or somebody that didn't want to, let's say, like open up, and it just has like so many walls. It starts to create a little relationship with one of the other residents. Maybe not with the staff. Maybe for staff, it's like the dynamic's still different,
Right.
but the other resident too. So we can observe those things and say like, okay, like maybe we can adjust the support way that we're given, adjust our approach, and keep giving them like what they need,
Right.
right? And meet
I
them where they are.
Yeah, no, I love that. Where, like you said, meet them where they are because everyone's coming from such a diverse background that you have to treat everyone so individual. There isn't a one size fits all. And so does that mean that so when people come to you, you're really trying to assess how can we help them feel what feel safe and all of those different steps?
Yeah, I think it's this part of feeling safe, but that also looks different for everybody, right? So it's just like recovering their the way they see themselves, like their self, right?
Okay.
Because abuse, something that the abuse does is like take away who you are, take away your opinions, taking away all the things that make you yourself. So um, I think that that links with the fact of being able to allow them to decide and to have agency in their lives. So it's like, okay, you don't want to come to program, it's fine. Like, it's okay. Maybe you don't come to the art therapy. Maybe you want to come to watch the movie. That's fine, right? But being able to let them decide, I think it's very important to, as part of their recovery, always invite them. Like I would say, like I invite them sometimes. And maybe they text me like, okay, I already told you no like 5 times. And I was like, but you're always welcome. It's okay. Like you're
I love
always
that.
invited, and there's always gonna be like we always want to have open doors for you when you want to join. I just want to be sure that you're welcome.
Oh, I love that. So then, do you think there's ever any spaces that unintentionally trigger stress or trauma when they're at the shelter?
Yeah, I would say that uh, it's a communal living, right? So when we are working with clients, I always ask myself, like, okay, how I will feel if I have to share the washroom or the
Yes.
kitchen, or if I'm trying to sleep and there are other kids yelling in the hallway, right? So
Yes.
it's like, okay, like I don't think that they are any different than us. It's just this our situations, living situations, luck. I don't know anything. Just put us in this stage, right? In
Yeah.
this position. So I always wonder. It's like, okay, how I will feel if I will be there. Like, I'm sorry, if I'm trying to sleep and someone is yelling, yelling, yelling. I'll feel annoyed, right?
Yes.
I think that that's just a normal response. But
True.
if we think about also the component of trauma, that means that it's more difficult to regulate that feeling annoyed. So it's just maybe going to come out as being very aggressive, right? Or complaining a lot, or starting to, I don't know, like being rude to staff or rude to the kids. So it's this kind of, like spaces where they are maybe too close to one to another, that I think they could be triggered if they
Gotcha.
live in a space.
Yeah. So then what would you think an ideal transition space then looks like? Like, if you could redesign
Oh my God, like if
Redwood.
I have like a wonder, like
Yeah.
magic wand.
Yeah.
I think that coming up from the easiest part will be, for example, having each one their washroom. I think that
Ah,
that will make a very big difference, and it's just one thing, right? Because in the washroom, it's a very private space, and that's something
mm-hmm.
that as survivors they don't have to, right? Privacy. Sometimes everyone is asking them their story. It's asking them what happened. They have to tell us. They have to tell the police. They have to, like
Yeah.
being too exposed. Sometimes, even during the abuse, they don't have privacy. Their phone are checked all the time, or they are so controlled that they are always needing to share their location and to tell where they are. So that kind of control makes you feel stressed and vulnerable all the time, right? I think that it's important uh, to acknowledge all those things and where they're coming from. Okay.
Right. Yeah. I love how this, I went into this thinking a lot about space, like the physical space and what it means. But I love how Redwood's really painting a picture in terms of it's the it's the programming, it's the invisible things that allow somebody to feel safe in in a space, as opposed to, we have a room for you, we have a bed, here's your areas that you can use, but it's really about, first, what does safety mean for individuals who have gone through severe trauma, and then the children's who have done it, and then the programming that allows them to feel more safe, feel more comfortable, build those relationships again within community, and then eventually, have, like you said, the agency for them to move forward with their lives, right? Because this is still a temporary space. No, that's really beautiful. Judith, now, what does it mean to have TMU as a partner for Redwood and helping you, vision this new space of what it could be? How does that, how is it all coming
Well,
together?
it's interesting. I almost feel like it was meant to be because one of the things that we've been talking about is that every family that comes here is different. And on top of the abuse, many of the women that come through the door, many of their children have different disabilities. It could be a traumatic brain injury, it could be ADHD, it could be, so everybody has different needs around the space. And so at the same time, I don't know, this is 7 months ago that we had a client who was neurodivergent, and her children were neurodivergent, and had a difficult time in our space, and wrote the executive director and myself a letter. And we were looking at that, what that meant and how we could redesign our space. There was a master's student from TMU that sent us a letter who was doing some research here. So we felt, okay, we're going to participate in this research, looking at trauma-informed design in shelters. And I'm not kidding. It happened like the ED was telling one of our directors, who said, oh, as a matter of fact, this email just came in today. And so we took it a step further and contacted Lorella, who then just got things in motion. And so we're working on this, and it's just opening up possibilities. Like I feel this here at the Redwood. I think we all feel it in our own personal spaces where you have something to work with. And, you can look at it and think, oh, this isn't going to work. I don't know what to do with it. And then suddenly somebody introduces a new way of looking at it, and or a new IKEA unit, whatever it is. And suddenly all these possibilities open up. And I feel that's what it's been like. I feel like when Mila and I went to hear the students' interim presentations, we were just sitting there in awe and like just talking, saying, wow, this is a great idea. That not everything is feasible, but it just opened up so many possibilities to reimagine our space, our kitchen, like our dining area. That was just such an obvious one where nobody thought of bringing down a wall, and then looking at the designs of how that space was totally transformed, and starting to see the impact of that possibility. If there's no wall there, maybe clients will just get their food and then just go eat there because they don't have to go through a door rather than take the food to their room and eat on their own. Because I think, my colleagues have said very interesting things, but one of the pieces is I think families need their own space, but the communal space is really important. That's a very important part of the healing process as well, because women and families have been isolated, and here they meet, there's group activities, and they meet other families that have been through the same thing. And I think that goes a long way in the healing process. So we really try to encourage that sense of family at the Redwood, that has set rules around how you talk to each other, how we share space, how we share meals, etc. So it really opened up possibilities that we just never imagined, and we're really looking forward to seeing the final designs. But I know already we were talking about construction. We had a little bit of money that had to be spent before the end of the year. We got some grant, and already some of those, well, we haven't put that into place yet, but we're already thinking of how we're going to do some changes, like some short-term changes.
Oh, that's beautiful. I think that's why I kind of went into design, even though I now do like a communications with design, but I feel that that's where the real magic can happen, when a designer can kind of take what you're thinking that you can't articulate and then actually make it happen in a space, right? Like actually bring it forward and bring almost, those dreams coming true, right? Like actually be transformed in different ways. So
I think I will add that as in my role as food services supervisor as well, food plays an important role in the healing of the family and children. So we have on site food service staff. We just have a contractor who also cooks on the weekend. But the one great thing that came from women, the idea came from women, is a program that we call Real Food Connection, which means women can propose a menu of their like or background, granted that they are going to cook with the chef for the whole house. So
wow.
it also add to the strength of the community, to a point of something to talk about, and you have to see how their children are proud the day that their mom cooks. And did you try the food? And it's just a good conversation starter and pride.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I want to have a chef that helps me cook meals for my family. Michelle, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I also echo 100% what Judith was saying about the communal space and how important that is, because as well as they need privacy, they need community. So I don't know, like if I had the magic wand, I would say that also having a space for just being together, like with comfy place to sit. That is not the dining room, like a separation there, to just like maybe read a book, a place that is cozy, that is just for the moms, like a place
Right.
to be with other moms. Because I know that the kids are a very important part of the house, but the moms, and part of the recovery also is connecting with other moms and
Right.
connecting with other adults too, because sometimes the kids are the only ones around them
Yes.
when they are at their places, right? So being able to socialize, and especially in winter, because in summers they can go out, they are more outside, they can go for a walk or do something else. But in the winter, especially this winter that has been so harsh, I feel that
Yeah.
having the opportunity of just connected indoors and having a place to, I don't know, do their nails together, like play cards, I don't know, paint together, do something like that
I
just by
love that.
themselves is a very important um, a place of connection. I will call it like that.
No, I love that. No, that's so true. Because you definitely need community as you heal. I find it's really important to be around other people who kind of like get it, who get you, right? Where you're going and where you want to go. No, I love that. Mila, do you have any final thoughts?
Me, it's yeah. I I I felt with the time that we went to see the designs in TMU, it was like magical, like kind of like I'm very much with what Judith said that we never expect that our space was able to hold so many openings. Like for instance, seeing that a dining room, like how it was connecting with the kitchen, connecting with other spaces. So that was one thing. But one of the things that I feel that is very much needed is to get, and that's a dream because I know we have certain limitations, but for me, a space to connect with nature should be something that it needs to be in every building and every home.
Yes.
Connecting with nature, be able to grow your little vegetables in the side. We have that. We have a garden that usually during the springtime families do that, but I think it's be more connection with nature, more like more green spaces. So I think that's sometimes it's the constricts of limitations of the size of the building that we don't have no more rooms nowhere. But I think it's important when we plan for living, we need to connect with nature. We need to connect with earth,
No,
the land.
no,
Yeah.
that's beautiful. And then Judith, any final words?
Yeah, I think in my work where I sit, I think these collaborations are exciting and they're a win-win situation for both. We provide a real live experiment for the students. It's not hypothetical and with some real challenges. We have a very old building here with limited space for everything we want to do. So it is not an easy project. And then we don't have the resources when we apply for money to put something together. There's no money to hire a designer.
True.
We're always trying to stretch a dollar. So I think we gain from just the wisdom of the faculty and the partners that they have, as well as the students or their eagerness and they're doing the research. They're doing research. It's not just something coming out of their head. It's a lot coming out of their head, but you know what I mean. It's So I think it's a win-win situation, and I think I just wish that everybody could experience these kinds of partnerships. I'm really excited, and we're excited to share. I know we're talked about publishing, and I'm going to definitely find some GVV conferences, gender-based violence conferences that we can present at, because I think it's an important part when we're an overstretched, under-resourced sector, and these are really important pieces.